I want to tell you about a time where I completely embarrassed myself because I was so insecure about my ability to speak. So I know like I'm a speaker now and all this stuff, but there is a time where I hated talking in front of people. Like I hated the sound of my voice. I hated the way that I look. I couldn't put two sentences together. But I knew that I was called to share my story. And one of who's my friend now, but at the time he was just like somebody I really looked up to. His name is Brian Pruitt. He was an All-American running back, and he invited me to come speak to his organization called Power of Dad, where he empowers fatherless youth. And I was like, okay, I'll do it. I knew it was like God's will for my life and all this stuff. And I wrote out my speech or what I was going to say. It was like a 10-minute speech. And I was so afraid to speak without notes and stuff that I came up with a bright idea. I decided that I was going to record myself on an audio device and wear a hoodie and put the earphones in and take one out so it looks like I just forgot to take one of my headphones out, and that I was going to word for word recite what I recorded on this audio device. So I get there and they introduce me and I come and I start to recite this. And what I didn't know is that how I speak in real time is a lot faster and different than how I like read these words on the paper on this device. So my timing got off. And at one point, I'd like started repeating things that I had already said because I was trying to catch up with the recording. And these like 16-year-olds and 12-year-olds were looking at me like, this dude is crazy. And Brian Pruitt was just like, oh my gosh, like, what have I done? And it was so embarrassing. And one of my best friends, Nick, was there. And I know he was like, man, he is bombing this. And I left there feeling so defeated. And I was like, man, I'm not called to speak. I'm like, I knew I sucked at this. And I was really ready to quit because I was so embarrassed. I knew he would never invite me back again. And sometimes when we fail, it causes us to question our calling. It makes us think that, we're not good enough. And that's how I felt. And if you're watching this and you had a failure, maybe you set out to try to build a business and you just bombed. Maybe you're like me and you tried to share your story and you forgot your whole speech and you just blanked. Failure makes you question your calling. But can I tell you that after I picked myself up, after I started to trust myself, to stop allowing my insecurities to keep me from believing in myself, I got better. And now I can't shut up. So my point is never let a failure define you. And you are created to do what you were created to do, regardless of your failure.